Salutations and welcome to the Manabar Video Game Podcast, episode 27 on October 23rd, 2019. I'm your host, Andy Rose, and I'm joined here with Matt Samarco.
Hey, how you doing?
And Dan Party.
You done?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay. Yeah, I'm here too. Hello.
that was such a better intro than mine. You just said my name quietly.
Because you're not as important.
Oh, man.
Matt Samarco and Dan Party.
I know.
So excited
Whatever,
for one, but not the
Whatever.
other. I just have
Right.
to. Next week it'll be
Didn't
the
even,
opposite.
Try to even it out, but all right.
I'm not very good at that.
And
evidently.
Matt.
Okay.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing all right.
I'm fine.
Great.
All right, so before we start the podcast, I want to say to our listeners, I'm begging. I'm begging now.
Oh, man.
This is gonna be really rough.
Oh, Jesus.
Please clap.
Deep ref. Look up Jeb Bush.
Please clap.
If you enjoy what we do on this podcast,
Spread it like a virus.
please tell your friends. Please tell your friends. Please share it on your social medias. Please let us know. We love to hear from you. You can email us at manabarpodcast@gmail.com. We are continually trying to get this podcast to grow, and it's a lot more reliant on you, the listeners, than we previously knew. So, follow us at Manabar Podcast on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram at the Manabar Podcast. And, please spread the word and download or view it on YouTube, whatever your preference is. We just recently were submitted to iHeartRadio, so we should be on there soon as an additional podcast source. Yeah, another listener actually told me about that.
Nice.
But before we get into the video game news, I have a question for Matt
Yeah, what's up? What's going on? How you doing?
and Dan. Yeah. Oh, I'm good. Good.
Sweet.
Dan's going to know where this is coming from.
All right.
Matt, you're the type of person to do your laundry once a week.
Yes. Fridays, laundry day.
Yes, Friday is laundry day. How many towels do you use in a 7-day period?
Oh, jeez. 2?
2. So you change your towel twice a week.
Correct. I would say, yeah, roughly.
So once every 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, I go back and forth between 2 of them, usually.
Back and forth between 2. Oh, so
Yeah.
you on day 6 or 7, you're still using possibly the towel you used on day 1.
Correct. But not every day.
Not every day. Okay, so that's still kind of the same.
This is related to video games, right?
Yeah, I was looked upon
Actually, it
by a
is.
room of people during a video game.
Okay,
that
so
we were
there you go. All
playing.
right, I see how you like
Very
it.
fun video game that Matt doesn't find very enjoyable anymore, called Jackbox Party Pack
Yeah.
number 3. We were playing a game called Fakin' It, and everybody had to hold up fingers, and one person was faking it like they didn't actually know what the question was, and the question was, how many days in a row do you use your towel? Now, I honestly have gone back and forth throughout the years. I do have 2 towels. Sometimes I would just use one for 3 days and then another, but there's several instances where one's already in the laundry. I do laundry once a week. I will go 7
Yeah, you
days
do.
with 1 towel. I was looked upon by a group of my peers as if I was a sick person
I'm fine with that.
for doing that.
No,
Everybody
that's
held
normal.
up 2 or 3 fingers at max.
I've done
mostly
that
2.
sometimes. I mean, like,
Well, I do it often.
you're literally using it when you're the cleanest you've ever been.
That was my point. Thank you,
And
Matt.
you're
It's
just-
after you shampoo,
yeah.
it's after you shower, it's after you soap.
It's ridiculous. You're just washing water off of, like, the cleanest you're going to be at any point, and then you're hanging it up to dry, and the next day it's just dry and not dirty anymore. Like, what are they trying to clean? Like, unless you just are bad at, like, soaping yourself and there's just like mud and dirt and feces all over your body.
I mean, not me.
Which
I can't
would-
speak for others. Not
That's
me.
a whole different argument, but
So yeah, I just wanted to feel a little validation for my choice in towel rotation.
I know. I just thought it was funny.
Anyways,
they sound a little pretentious, your friends.
it was a pretentious group.
I'm one
Although
of them.
I will
That's-
say,
that's
my
okay.
girlfriend did somewhat stick up for me.
Nice.
Or at least she told everybody that I wasn't lying when I held up the 7 fingers. So everybody thought I was lying at first. They thought I was the faker. I was not. That was a legitimate 7 fingers I held up. But
And you know what? I bet a bunch of them were lying. I
Well,
bet
one
they do
person
use
was.
it for 7 days, but they're like, I don't want to be that guy that everyone thinks is like stank. So
That's true. That's a good point. No, all of them except for the person who was faking it legitimately seem like they use a different towel every 2 days. I know my girlfriend does use a different towel every like 2 or 3 days, but she even said it depends. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just didn't think that was now I'm like self-conscious about it. Now I feel like I have to rotate.
I'm gonna stop rotating.
You're gonna stop
Out
rotating?
of solidarity.
I like
We're
it.
gonna start the movement.
Start the movement. I mean,
One towel.
that's what we are both very impressionable to each other.
One towel.
Hashtag one tag, one
I
week.
stopped playing Apex as soon as you did.
Damn straight. I got your back.
All you have to do, there was this, not to get too off track, but there was this one time a bunch of us went up to Maine for holiday. Matt knows this story, Dan doesn't. Where I was really on the fence about staying for a second and third day. I was just going to come up for one day and then leave. Matt looked at me and legitimately said, only once, hey, Andy, you should stay for 2 more days. And I just went, okay, I'm very impressionable. I can be
great.
swayed very easily.
So about that trade you've eaten. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, that's another thing.
Unless Dan's trying to get me to play a video game, then it takes like 80,000 times of asking and primping and prodding. So,
He's missing out.
Dan,
Uh-oh.
what have you been playing past week?
I still been sticking with Greedfall a lot. I know I'm kind of boring, but the game is still really, really good and still reminds me a lot of, like I said, Dragon Age and The Witcher. Other than that, I'm just waiting. I'm excited for tomorrow night for the release of Call of Duty.
Yeah, this is finally honest. I feel like we've had some slower weeks as far as releases go, but now we've got it like it's coming.
Yes.
It's coming the 25th. This Friday it starts, and then like every week there's like a banger for
Yeah,
a
did you
while.
pre-order at GameStop?
I may have
They're talking about Call of Duty if he didn't.
Yeah,
mention
sorry.
I may
should-
have made a
Call of Duty comes
tactical
out.
error.
that on the 25th.
What happened?
I didn't even think, because normally I don't care about the releases on Thursday, because normally like it takes so long to install a game, and then usually I have to wake up for work the next day anyway, so I really don't get in the habit of doing that. But tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Andy's gonna want to play Call of Duty with Dan, and
Just go pre-order it at GameStop.
I'm not gonna have it until Friday.
Did you order it online?
Yeah,
Oh,
Amazon.
at that point, yeah.
Well, I could just return it to Amazon, and
Well, you know what you could do? Do this.
Don't
Buy
do
it-
that.
No. Wait. Same edition,
just the regular one. Yeah.
standard. So, go buy it. So pre-order from GameStop, buy it, and then when the other one comes from Amazon, brand new sealed, just bring the receipt with that back to GameStop.
No, I'd rather
I don't
return to
condone
Amazon
anything
because
that's happening right now.
as much as I don't like
Well, because it's
GameStop, I want to support a brick and mortar over Amazon. It's this weird thing.
I agree with that.
So I'd rather return it to Amazon. What's wrong with returning it to Amazon, Matt?
No, I had no problem with
Well,
that. I had a problem with you returning Amazon's game to GameStop, which is unfair to GameStop. IMO.
But it's the same thing. It's the same game. It's just he's just doing it.
No.
because-
That's true.
yeah. It's not like you're cheating the merchandise,
But
right?
You're taking advantage of their
Well, you just want to
their
quick.
one benefit.
Well, no.
Well, they're both-
They're getting a sealed game. They're getting the
Yeah,
same
and
thing.
you're not stealing money from them, but you're taking advantage of their, you know.
You can go to anybody. You could bring it. Well, you just bought it from GameStop, but whoever you pre-order from, you can.
Oh, it's like anytime you buy a used game just for the steelbook and then return it in a regular case type thing.
I've done that twice.
I was about to say it's more than once, definitely.
I did that twice, but also I just end up asking the guy like, "Hey, can I have it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
If are you guaranteed to be playing it tomorrow night?
I am downloading it. The only thing that's going to hold me back is the download. And
Isn't it big? It's like
60 something gigs.
yeah, I also am a little frustrated, and I hope this isn't a trend going forward. So I found out that the early release, so I guess they were scared of this game going out in the wild and the campaign being spoiled. So the discs that went out, you cannot access the campaign or anything without the day one patch,
That's weird.
which I don't like. And I know Kingdom Hearts had a little issue where the end of the game was blocked because you needed to download a patch.
When
3.
can you get the patch?
Day one.
That Thursday night?
Yeah, that Thursday night, yeah,
Oh,
when it goes live.
I'm
but
sure
but
they'll
I
have
still think
That's
available.
weird.
but it's still it also makes sense because or it's sucky because what happens down the road, because this campaign's supposed to be for me. I know you gentlemen are not excited about military shooters or whatever, but for me, I loved Call of Duty 4, and this seems like it's going to be, going back to its roots. It's got Captain Price in it. This could be a really good campaign that I want to go back to years later, and I'm hoping to God that someone will have a database of patches that you'll be able to, so God forbid your PlayStation breaks and PlayStation Store doesn't support Call of Duty, this Modern Warfare anymore. So at that point, can you go to a place or some website and say, oh, I just want to download the patch for Call of Duty so I can play this game?
Has there been an instance with that where you can't? I understand online.
Oh, well, online
servers
games
go down.
Yeah, like MAG. But I mean, if you can't,
are we at a point now where we're worried that patches are going to stop downloading if online services discontinue?
Well, they do. You can't. I'm guessing you can't access it. I know, I bought.
I haven't heard of that yet. That's why I'm asking.
Well, because, for example, I know that PlayStation, and this is why I'm not so worried about it, is that PlayStation, say you don't have the internet, but you want to update the PlayStation. That PlayStation I bought from the thrift store where I thought it was broken. I don't know if okay. Only posted it on the Instagram.
No one could see, but I shrugged.
Okay.
In confusion.
Well, I bought a PlayStation and it was having a problem, and it said it needs to update, but because it couldn't connect to the internet, it couldn't update. So it was kind of like a death circle. So what you can do is you can actually go on a laptop, download the update onto a hard drive, plug it into the PlayStation, and download it manually or upload it manually.
So I don't think it's a real worry for patches, because if you think about it,
yeah, but this patch.
Well, hang on.
Sorry, go ahead.
The PlayStation is only going to know that you need a patch at all if it's connected to the internet. So if what you're saying is true, if I had my uninterneted PlayStation 4 and put in the Call of Duty CD, do you think it wouldn't work?
No, it doesn't. It's been proven it doesn't work.
Oh, that is a little concerning.
So
I'm going to be honest.
At that point,
I mean, again, to Matt's point, everybody's connected to the internet always.
No, I agree that, but what happens is later is, again, I'm more worried about, and especially as someone yourself, Andy, who's the bargain bin gamer, you want to go back and play older games. You just said you want to go back and play the Metal Gear series last week. So what happens if Metal Gear didn't allow the campaign to be downloaded and then you missed out? Say Sony craps the bed and they no longer allow you access. The only thing that I'm not worried about is it seems like so many people will be able to rip the actual update onto online, and you'll be able to access it somewhere, at some point. It's the constant online that I don't like, because then that game is dead. Anthem is dead. Fallout 76 is dead. What's it called? Bungie's Destiny is dead. When the servers go, World of Warcraft offline, it's dead. There's nothing you can do. Call of Duty, on the other hand, is a single player campaign, Spec Ops, all these other things you can do offline, but you can't even access the main menu until you get the day one patch. It's a little worrisome, but it's a different situation. And that was why I think I told you, Andy, the other day, where I had a minor heart attack when I saw the cover of Call of Duty Modern Warfare and it said internet required.
Oh, yeah.
Typically it says online play, or something along the lines of online play.
It was just a wording thing.
Well, it makes sense now, because I guess World War II did the same thing, but I just didn't notice it.
Oh, with the campaign?
With the campaign being blocked.
Well, I'm sure the 5 people who liked that campaign were really happy that that wasn't spoiled for them within 3 hours of getting the game. Were you worried about the campaign being spoiled?
In World War II?
No, in this new one.
Yeah, I don't want it spoiled.
Do you really think it was going to in that time frame, though?
I don't know. Why would they take such a drastic step?
Well, it seems silly to me that they would take the step at all.
Well, but people online are calling it money discs, I guess what they're calling it. It's basically kind of what they do with backwards compatibility, where all of it's being downloaded onto the Xbox One, and the only thing that the disc is doing is saying, yep, I have the disc. So it's like a disc check. So, and that's what people are calling it, money discs.
Well,
so
does anybody have the game prior to it being released?
People have gotten it early, like Walmart's
and stuff, right?
Yeah,
but that's with everything. I mean,
I agree, and if they're so,
it just seems weird that out of all the games I've ever heard of, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the one where they're like, nope,
it's going to sell.
Patch for
not
the
only
campaign.
that, it's going to sell regardless of how well the campaign.
It's just a weird decision.
Yeah, no,
That's
I agree.
It's very strange.
But start your counters now, gentlemen. But Death Stranding, it has released it early, and or to reviewers, and all they've asked them to do is just please don't release any information until November 1st. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird, but again, because you're able to download emulators and updates for the PlayStation Store directly onto a thumb drive. Why wouldn't you be able to do that for a game? Somebody's thinking about this down the line. Like, you know what? I want to have that update, or maybe even that would actually make sense too. For Infinity Ward to have it on a driver, like, oh hey, the PlayStation Store went down. You can download it here. Because what happens if a bunch of people lose internet, over the next week that really want to play?
Most games have day one patches. Now,
well, they do.
All of those are out the window if something ever happened. But more to your original point, if you are getting it tomorrow night, I will.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm getting it to
pre-order it at
9 p.m.
I will pre-order it at GameStop. I will leave D&D early to go get it.
Now, do you want me to give you a heads up of the download time? Because
I'm going to preload it tonight.
Okay, I actually got. Did you get it through? You got it through Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I actually don't know if you can preload it unless you bought it from PlayStation Store. I don't know. I can't confirm that for a fact.
Did you buy it from PlayStation Store?
No, I bought it physically from GameStop.
But
you said you were.
Yeah. So
this isn't the most riveting topic. You guys downloading Call of Duty.
World of Warcraft isn't a riveting topic.
It is a riveting topic.
No, it's not. No, I'm kidding.
All right, well, while we're on the subject of Call of Duty, Matt, why don't you tell everybody about Call of Duty Mobile?
Yeah, I've been playing the Call of Duty mobile game. It's still the fun. It's the same thing. But there's kind of like a small, somewhat of a loot box controversy right now. They have a Halloween lucky draw event where there's like 8 or 10 items that you can get through this like randomized assortment of things, and each one of them costs a certain amount of like basically what counts to real life money. Like you really can't earn them in game unless you have the battle pass, and even then it's not that much. The first one only costs like 40 cents, and then it goes up and up and up to like the last two cost $65 and $1 or $100. So it's like altogether it's like $200 or something. And so there's like 4 or 5 rare items, and there's like 4 or 5 epic items, and it says on the top like, oh, there's like a 46% chance of getting an epic item, and there's like a 58% chance of getting a rare item or whatever it is. And it turns out the 2 items that are like the really good ones, like there's this cool looking Halloween skin, and then there's a really cool looking gun that's like Halloween skinned. There's actually only like a 1 to 2% chance or something like that to get them. So what they want you to do is basically just keep buying them, and then as you buy them, it takes the ones that have crappy, that are just not as good out of the pool. So by the end, like it's for most people, the last 2 items that they buy are going to be the ones that everyone's trying to get, but they don't really explain that to you.
It's all cosmetics too, right?
Yes, for the most part, yeah. There's some upgrades to your guns and stuff, but it's nothing too crazy. It's mostly cosmetics is why you're doing it.
I just like this percentage thing. Like it's just all it is just trying to grind it out.
Did they tell the odds?
No, they're pretty. From what I can see, is they just say what the odds of getting an epic and getting a rare. Where they trick you is they like group all of the epics together, but only like the ones that no one really wants. You have a much better chance of getting those.
Well, because you gave the percentages, I wasn't sure if did someone just map that out?
No, they just give you the percentage for the rare / epic.
Oh, so they do give you the chance.
They give you the chance of getting one of the 2 pools, but then they don't tell you that those don't all have even odds. Like the ones, the good epic items are actually 1 to 2% chance, and then there's like a 50% chance you'll get the stupid XP card for your gun, and there's like a 40% chance you'll get just like a loot box that will have also bad odds that you'll lose out on.
I mean, it's unfortunate to take this stance, but I hear all of that and I don't instantly think, oh my god, Activision's that again, and that's like every mobile game.
Yeah, it's kind of par for the course. I mean, the way I feel is there's a lot of games like this where, so that game has a battle pass. I feel like the battle pass, if you're really into this game, you're playing it every day, that's kind of a good value because it costs like $10. You get a bunch of stuff, and then at the end of it, if you don't buy anything else, you can buy the next battle pass for free if you got to the max level. And then they'll have these like loot boxes and skins and everything like that. And I'm almost kind of thankful that the prices are so outrageous that I've never even thought about buying any of them. It's like ridiculous to pay $10 for like a skin, or like $20 in Apex, or this event being like, oh, I got to pay $200 to get this like skin that'll have a nice little Halloween theme for a while. Seems so stupid. Like those are for like whales. If you do
not literal whales.
if you do every draw all the way up to like the 8 or 10 items, it's going to cost you about $200. The last one's going to cost you $100.
I feel like this industry has pulled and ripped so much from core games, like what was in the core game, and then it's trying to sell it back to you. And it's so scummy. There was one game where you literally unlocked. Yeah, I think it was Fortnite. I understand it's free, but I didn't like what they were doing because I think it was giving other companies ideas. You unlocked loading screens in a loot box. Like what the hell? Like how low can you get? Like and it's emotes and all these stupid things that I don't want in a game. I don't want to dance around like an idiot in a game. I just want to, like, you could get that in...
You gotta do the floss dance.
I dance around stupid enough in real life.
Yeah, it's a dumb waste of time. It's like, great. So on top of not only did I not get, a new piece of armor that I wanted, I didn't even get a piece of armor. I got a loading screen and a dance.
What was this for?
Fortnite, but other companies are doing that. Ghost Recon Wildlands started to do, like, you could unlock sayings, like little phrases that your character can yell. So it's like this gives them...
Yeah, I mean, they have that in Apex. They've had that in Heroes of the Storm. It's kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's just... But I hate it. It's like, it's part of the game. Why are you taking that out? Like, I understand working to achieve towards something like a gun or whatever, but I feel like they're making it ridiculous to the point where you have to... Like, I heard you... I think it was Andy. Like, when you were playing Apex, you're like, oh, I have to play Apex every day to just unlock this thing. Is it really even worth it? You have to grind through this? Like,
I mean, that was more Matt than I was really being pretty lax.
Well, no, but you were
to unlock things.
But you were like, it was giving you that incentive, like, oh, I have to play it just to unlock this, and it's so frustrating. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, it wants to keep you super engaged, so that you're playing every day, so that you're, that you want to buy more stuff,
more than likely to pay
and
more
I feel
money.
like these companies should realize, like, hey, I understand that we want to get those few people hooked, like I don't know if you want to call it player base hooked. And then you're guaranteed to get that money, kind of like the friggin' Transformer kid who spent over $100,000 in microtransactions on a Transformer mobile game. Yeah, there's a whole thing about that.
Is that the card game?
Yeah, he spent over $100,000.
Like $150,000.
Yeah,
I've been hearing some good things about that card game, and I love Transformers.
Okay, well, you're not spending $100,000.
I just don't know why I haven't downloaded that game
yet. See, that immediately right there would make me not want to buy that game. Just knowing that someone has spent $100,000 and knowing that they legit have every card in the game. It's like, oh, all right, this is no longer skill-based.
It's weird.
So I think that's also one of the reasons why I've slowly drifted away from Hearthstone. I fell a little bit behind, and I feel like I'm way, over my head.
Here's the thing. I don't, I'm not one to spend money on microtransactions. The thing of it is, to me, or just the reality of it really is, as long as there are people willing to pay the money, they'll keep doing it. And if I was in charge of a company selling anything and I knew that there was people wanting to pay for something, I would keep making it. So, I mean, I can't really fault the companies. They're just trying to make money. I mean, especially with mobile games, especially, I just don't.
It is just kind of like a scum.
No, it's scummy.
Strategy.
It is.
I mean, like, I
agree.
I'd be okay
agree.
if they said, okay, here's a phone game. If you really like it, we're going to cap the spending at $250, which is still outrageous. I would never tell anyone to spend that kind of money on a phone game. But like, you hear these stories of someone spending $150,000, someone spending $10,000, and we just kind of like assume that this is like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, and like maybe there's a few of those people that are just like super wealthy. They have billions of dollars and they can just do whatever they want. But I imagine there's got to be some percentage of those people that are just middle class,
addicted,
maybe lower class.
The lottery ticket people.
Yeah, they can't afford it. They're just like getting in too deep. You put down $20 on a game. You don't really notice it. You're like, oh, I'll throw a few bucks here, a few bucks there. By the end of a year, you spent like thousands of dollars on this game because you've spent $7 at a time. And then that's real money that could have gone towards like your future or your rent or
just
something
like
important.
A casino, which is what they're emulating with these things.
Which is crazy.
They're not emulating it like with NBA 2K20 and actually having a casino slot machine.
Yeah, I mean UK is straight up like banning them / you need to put the odds of winning each thing on these. But I also it is advertising gambling to minors.
They just need to say they need to do exactly that. Put the exact odds of what you're getting, what the chances are, and then say, okay, this download you have to be 18 or over, and do whatever you have to do to make sure that minors can't download it. Just like you would with renting a movie
and that's the real worry is kind of the minor effect, because we as adults, if we're stupid enough to spend our own hard-earned money, even $100,000 on a mobile game, Darwinism at its finest. But, if you're a child and you just don't know any better, or you're just pulling one over on your parents, that's just not right.
Well, on top of that, too, we grew up in a time period where the games were complete. If it came out broken, the game was broken. That's it. It's done. Now, and I remember, I think it was high school, as Halo 2 started having the multiplayer, and then they had add-ons. So I was like, oh, okay, that's really
Halo
cool.
was the first time I remembered it.
But it was, but it was the add-on. So now the culture, growing up might be, this is the norm for somebody growing up in, that's probably in 18 right now. They're used to this being in the game. They're used to, oh, okay, Assassin's Creed has time savers. That's fine, whatever. I don't feel like doing this. I just want to get ahead of the curve and do that. And it sucks, and I don't want that to be a trend. That's why I kind of and this actually just changed in Call of Duty recently, and I wonder if it's because of the backlash. There was speculation that it had loot boxes or loot crates or something in the game, and they just sent out a PR thing from Activision that said, nope, there are no microtransactions in the game. We are implementing a battle pass system, which I think is great, because the battle pass system is great for a number of reasons. One, for the people that don't feel like actually forking over extra money, if they play enough, they can earn their way to getting the regular, everything in the battle pass for free, just like they did with Apex, just like they did with
there's going to be
Fortnite.
a premium trail, so there will be
and if
things
you
they
want,
technically can't
for
get,
those people that really want to spend money and get maybe that extra boost to get some items a little bit
It's a
faster.
set amount of price for a specific amount of things.
Sure, I will gladly do that. And on top of that, unlike what Call of
I will
Duty-
gladly watch other people do it.
and and for the other people that or the other types of games that they had back 5-6 years ago was map packs, but map packs were tough because then it segregated the player base. So only, if let's say 5,000 players only bought the new DLC, well, guess what? It's only between that 5,000 people, and those are my guess off the top of my head. Those 5,000 people are going to be the dedicated people. You're not going to get everybody. Whereas the Battle Pass, it's like, all right, we got enough money from, the freebies and the people. We'll bring them all to the next tier.
I paid. I think it was either this is 2007 money, so I don't know what the inflation rate is.
$1 million.
That was pre-recession money. I paid either $9.99 or $14.99 twice for a 3-pack Halo 3 map pack, because I wanted those damn achievements, and I got every one of them, and I wanted to be able to play those multiplayer things. And that was at a time where microtransaction, smartphones weren't a thing, microtransactions weren't really a common thing. Again, like you said, Halo was one of the pioneers in that area. And then Halo ODST came out, and when Halo ODST came out, as kind of a benefit for buying the game, they gave you all of the map packs for Halo 3 multiplayer with the game. Now, granted, that was technically playing full game price for all of the map packs that I already bought, probably because ODST was not as full of a game as Halo Reach or Halo 3 were. But I felt a little slighted at that I paid basically either $80 or $90 for a full game plus just 6 maps. And in hindsight, it was a poor decision.
I mean, if you enjoyed it.
I did, and I played a lot of that game. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't get my money's worth out of it.
The thing about video games is they devalue so much. Games are, you pay $60 for games. 3 months later, it's on sale for $30. A year later, it's, you can get it for $15 at used at any store. So
unless it has the word Mario in it or Zelda
or Pokemon.
Yeah, unless you're Nintendo and you just don't put your games on sale or reduce the price at all.
To go back to what we were originally talking about, were there any other, because we got on a huge Call of Duty tangent there. I like it though. I like that trail. That was really good. A lot of breadcrumbs there. Is there any other games you've been playing over the past week, or has it just been a lot of Greedfall and Borderlands?
No,
or did you beat Borderlands?
I did beat. Yep, I beat Borderlands.
Greedfall and
So Zelda.
well, Link's Awakening.
Yep. I'm really enjoying the heck out of it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought I
just
talked about this last week. No, I love it.
You did.
I
I
love
just remembered something that I need to talk about.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
No, just I love the level design. It's very similar to the Super Nintendo Link to the Past.
Still walking too slow for you?
Yeah, but I mean, now I have little like things to basically take my mind off it. Like I can jump and flip, and I'm like, wee, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm easily distracted. But no, I love the puzzles. I love the level design, the bosses. It's just very like they nailed the Zelda, formula. Yeah, they nailed that formula, and that's for me what was missing from like Breath of the Wild. I wanted that, go to a dungeon, Metroidvania kind of feel.
Well, I mean, it's a remake too. I mean, the original Link's Awakening nailed that exact same formula. I mean,
yeah.
They're just like redoing the game.
Well, I think Breath of the Wild was just the only one that really just changed. It just flipped like whoa.
But it's scratching that itch that you didn't get from Breath of the Wild.
Absolutely, yes. Okay. So I am enjoying the heck out of it. It is extremely charming. Just
My
like
favorite word to
just
use
like
for
the
games.
over like reaction to like everything with all the characters on the screen. They're all like moving a lot. So no, I'm loving that. And then I'm also very excited that I saw great reviews. And I've changed my mind that I am going to get Outer Worlds to support them. And
that game's on fire.
Yeah, and I apologize,
everywhere.
Andy, too. I'm getting it for Xbox One because I know. Wait, before you say anything,
Well, I don't care. Why would I care
I would have
about
been able
that?
to lend it to you.
Oh.
So
No, I still want the game. That looks like a game that I want.
yeah, but I mean,
You convinced me to not get it because you're like,
that true, Dan?
there's a lot of games
Dan,
coming out.
response?
Death Stranding is coming out. Call of Duty's coming out. I just, you know what? This is Dan. I'm emulating Dan.
Well,
you know what?
sure.
You sound just like him.
I just. Oh, it gets better.
Oh man. There's
I
two of
just
them.
I just think that I just want to wait on it because there's a lot of games coming out right now and I just don't want to buy games just for the hell of it. And my reaction was that makes a lot of sense, but I really want to support the developer. This was coming from me. But then after I thought about it, I'm like, you know what, Dan, you convinced me. You're right. You know what? That's an extra $60 in my pocket right now at a time where there's a lot of games I need to play. And now, 2 weeks later, not only are you getting it, but you're using the reasoning and rationale that I was using originally. I demand satisfaction. I demand an excuse.
okay, you want that excuse? October 25th. Parents, birthday gift.
What?
So he's getting it for free.
There you go. so that's why I'm getting
The
it.
cat's out of the bag.
So, and I guess anybody that's on the fence about like what systems, say they have both systems, like my predicament where I'm like, which one
Yeah,
runs
why are you
better,
getting it
whatever.
for Xbone?
So I heard I saw something about it
Xbone.
how for Xbox. I guess Microsoft had some sort of hand in creating it or something, but they got a little bit more
Like
care.
exclusives or-
Yeah, well, they got a little bit more care into their edition.
Like it'll
So-
look nicer on the Xbox One X
Yes,
Which
and
he has.
there's-
than it will
and-
on the PS4 Pro.
Well, a lot better. Apparently,
most
it's going to be
things do.
4K
Yeah.
and 60 frames per second, whereas the PlayStation 4 Pro, they're not hitting one of those two.
Yeah, I've heard that's kind of the norm. Like people kind of made a big deal out of this, but it's kind of like I guess a lot of games end up being, obviously better for the Xbox One. It's a little more powerful than the PS4 Pro.
Dan also
so I don't
has
think that's like crazy out of the ordinary.
Well, like I said, I think Microsoft actually had a hand in helping doing something for this game that I was reading, and that's why they got a little extra TLC. And I don't have enough games for my Xbox, so I was like, this is kind of neat. I'm gonna throw this this way, and if it ends up being a trilogy or something, but I was just psyched because the reviews were overwhelmingly positive. And
yeah, I've heard great things.
again,
I might try to give it a shot at some point.
well, have your birthday. Andy's shaking his head. Have your birthday in October. I just got lucky. Then
my birthday just passed and I got nothing. I got no free game. Where's my free
That's a
game?
shame.
Your pat on the pat. You know what? PlayStation Plus free games. You can download baseball for another 6 days.
Great.
Well, I am canceling Medieval, so that's a.
Who gives a fuck?
I do. I was interested in it.
Is anybody? Are you
That's
getting
another
that,
game coming out
Matt?
the 25th.
Yep.
No, I put it on my GameFly list just to check it out, but it's definitely not
I
something
just,
I'm gonna buy.
after Matt and I talked about it, he said he played the demo for a little bit too, and he said it was just under. You need the nostalgia factor for that game, at least for us, to appeal to buying it as like a newcomer. So I just wasn't. I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick to my guns. Again, I still didn't buy a lot of the other
Great.
games.
Now I'm gonna have FOMO. This is gonna be like
No.
This is gonna be like Horizon Zero Dawn all over
No,
again.
you have games-
Everybody's playing this game that I really want to play. I'm
Have
not
you
in the
not played
happening.
for-
Yeah, he
Horizon
hasn't
Zero
played
Dawn
Horizon
yet?
Zero Dawn.
Why don't you
make
play that now?
Yeah, make that. That is a perfect
Cancel Call of
game.
Duty and play Horizon this weekend.
It's a perfect game to,
I don't know.
to
Dan,
play.
should I cancel Call of Duty?
I mean, if you want to, I am still like I just.
He doesn't
love
even
playing
like
it.
you. He doesn't want to play with you at all.
No, I can play that game by myself. If you want to play it, go ahead. I would rather you experience, a truly, innovative game like Horizon Zero Dawn. than
He
just
doesn't
play-
want me dragging down his stats. He's done this before, where it's like I'm like, "Oh, do you want to play ranked?" And he'll
man.
go, what? Why don't we just play regular until you get the hang of it? 'Cause he doesn't want me
That is
dragging
not
down.
true.
That
is
has happened.
So
That
not
has
maybe on a game you
happened.
just started.
No, it
but you were
happened
real-
in
Dan, does Andy suck at
PUBG,
video
where
games?
or some shooter we were playing where I was going to do ranked, and you're like, "Oh, why don't we just do regular?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, I don't want to bring down my KD spread." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No, I think it was a game that you just started. So
Are you
it was
embarrassed
like
to know Andy?
a little bit.
I mean,
Oh, man.
A little bit.
in his defense,
Learned
I
a
would be
lot.
too.
No, only to start, and then we're like, all right, I get the hang of it. I mean,
Oh, he's only embarrassed for me and start, and then
No.
later on I grow on
that
him
is not
like a
true.
tumor.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a tumor. Anyway. No, I mean it's up to you. I like I said, I am.
No, I'm
gonna
getting
be
Call
playing.
of Duty.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not going to let you ruin any more of my purchases.
Just wait on Outer Worlds
Why?
because you're not getting it for free. I mean, if you want to, I told you to buy an Xbox One for really cheap.
No.
Okay, that was worth a shot.
Why?
I don't know because then again you
What
can
a
play.
waste of money.
Ouch. Anyway,
And it's 2 exclusives.
there's a few: Sunset Overdrive, State of Decay. There's some good ones. Anyway, all I know is
Also, by the way,
yeah.
for you saying like, oh, talking to people about like which system they should buy it for, I don't think a lot of people have that problem.
I'm just saying for the person that is a very passionate gamer and has
I chose my path.
exactly you chose the path of the righteous.
What did you choose the path of, Dan?
We just can't not get off
I
track.
can't
The
think
greedy,
of the. Never mind.
not sloth, gluttony.
The path of the happening, where you need to buy every friggin' thing that comes out.
Matt, what are you playing?
Jeez. I'm playing like the same old crap I've been playing. Call of Duty Mobile.
Great, moving on.
World
No,
of Warcraft.
just kidding.
Keyword crap. No.
Been playing Mario Kart Tour still. I tried a couple new games which that didn't thrill me. I played Wolfenstein Youngblood for a couple hours, and it was very
Was it like a
milquetoast.
B game, or like was it like one of those like kind of how like Batman Arkham Origins was made by like a subsidiary that didn't make the other ones? Was
I'm
this
not exactly
like
sure about the development. It wasn't like
Bethesda's
it was like a
B-Team or
$40
something?
It was a $40 game. It wasn't supposed to be like a full priced. Obviously, it's not Wolfenstein the 3 or anything like that. But you play as like two different two characters. One of two characters though. Wolfowitz is whatever his name is.
I've never played
the main
Wolfenstein.
character's
not
twin
sure.
daughters, and it's like set like obviously like 15 or 20 years after the second Wolfenstein game, and it's just like I don't know. There's just something about it. It doesn't have any of the magic of the mainline Wolfenstein games. It's just like the characters are kind of boring. The gameplay's fine, but for some reason it doesn't even feel as good as the Wolfenstein 1 or 2 games. It's just like corridor. You get lost a lot. That problem that seems to be appearing in more and more games where the map's kind of useless. There's like multi-levels, and they don't really explain where you're going or like what your real motivation is for doing it. I mean, the whole thing is you're just trying to find your father throughout the whole thing. You learn that really quickly. That's not really a spoiler.
So does it feel like a $40 game that should have cost $20?
Yes, or it feels like maybe if you were playing with a friend, it would be a lot better. So they throw you in with like a computer companion if you're not playing online, and it's it doesn't.
You have to play.
You have to play with a co-op.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Resident
right, it's
Evil
the twin
5 all
sisters,
over
right?
again.
Yeah, so you have to like res each other and stuff, which I mean, I guess it could be fun in multiplayer. I tried to do multiplayer, but someone would jump in your game and they would just be like AFK standing there, and it's like, okay, great, that's worse than a computer. You're just literally doing nothing.
Does she use her healing herbs when she's not supposed to, too?
No, wrong game.
Yeah, take this. No, I don't have the pistol. Why are you giving me the ammo?
And there's like weird interactions where you can use like you each at the beginning you have to choose between like one of two actions that either you'll give like devil horns and your armor will go up for both of you for like a certain amount for like 25 or 30 points, or like
It sounds horrible.
there's another one there's another hand gesture that makes your health go up.
This sounds like it's just supposed to be Doom.
They're
there
just
anything
like
you liked
trying to
about the
add
game?
style to it. Anything I liked about it.
Did you even like how much of it
Not
did you
really.
even play?
I only played like 2 hours. They had a lot of like upgrading with the guns and stuff that looked interesting, but in practice, it didn't. There was like way too many. This is getting better. This is getting like there was too much to realize what difference you were making when you were spending your upgrade points, which you kind of arbitrarily gain while playing the game. So it was just it was just not a great time.
I was going to say, before you play even that, because it's Bethesda, and I think it's Wolfenstein and Doom use like the same like engine. Once you play Doom, if you really enjoy that kind of chaotic first-person shooter style, the two Wolfensteins, the full like fledged games.
Oh, I want to play those.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
They
God, I have a
feel like
backlog.
Doom. They're great, and they're also dirt cheap. I'm pretty sure you can get the first Wolfenstein for $5.
Guys, I have to start playing these games.
Yeah.
My suggestion is, just like what you told me, you were like, Dan, you're not beating any games, and I was like, you know what? All right, I do need to focus and kind of knock down these linear ones, and then feel like, wow, all right, I made progress with beating this one, like I did with Plague's Tale. And
I have a gripe against myself. I'll go over in a minute, but I didn't know if there was anything more. You were playing another game, right? Frost.
Yeah. So I was playing Frostpunk, which is like it's a really cool looking strategy RPG game that. It's like real-time strategy game, I should say, that came out on PC, I think last year sometime. They just released the console version, and it's kind of got a cool aesthetic. So it's like a storyline where it's in the future. There's it's like all a frozen wasteland. So I guess it's snowed, and I don't know if it's like global warming or whatever, but there's just like feet of snow everywhere, and most people are dead, and you're in this like tiny village of people trying to survive. So you start the game with just like this giant generator that you turn on, and it's like negative 20 degrees. And you just you have to build houses, you have to get coal and things like that. But it's kind of very dark about like a lot of people will end up dying and hurt, and you'll have to make special you can make special laws okay, you can put child manual labor into effect to get
So it's like a sim.
Yeah, basically. So it's like SimCity
That
or
actually
something.
sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it does sound kind of neat. And then there's there'll be different things okay, instead of feeding them meals, you can make soup that will feed more people, but it won't be as good. And then you can put sawdust into this food, so it'll feed even more people. But it's not as.
this is brutal.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, and it's really a lot of oh man, this is you always feel like you're struggling. And I gotta say, I didn't play it that long, and I think it was mostly just because of the console version. So this is like I said, it's an overhead real-time strategy game, and
Good for PC.
yeah, you
Yeah,
really want to
I
be
was
playing this
gonna
game on
say.
PC. It felt very awkward. There were so many menus, and it wasn't easy to navigate them because obviously it was made for PC. It came out there first. Even just the analog sticks, you'd press one to go left, one to go right. If you press them in, you revolve around the whole thing. So it's just and you have to zoom in on specific units. So after 90 minutes or so, I was like, you know what, this is too much of a hassle. I still actually want to try it on PC. It's it's been on my Steam wish list for a while. I'm kind of waiting for it to get cheap.
How much is it now?
I think it's $30 or $40.
Ooh.
It's been pretty successful. They actually just unleashed some expansions for it too, which would
Good.
which could be kind of
Who's
neat.
the developer?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's anyone big that we would know. But yeah, so I'm
Looking it up now.
Yeah, I don't want to give past total judgment on it, except to say because it got pretty good reviews. What I would say is play this on PC. Yeah, see, it's got 90s.
I just quickly checked it up. It has an 86 on average critic and 93% recommended. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So in closing, I'm not giving a bad judgment to this game. I think it could be good. It's just I want to give it a chance on the PC. I would say do not play this on the consoles if you can help it.
That actually sounds like a fantastic, just kind of fun simulator game.
Yeah.
It also seems like it kind of stretches like your empathy for like people like, well, I'm sorry, but I only got this much food. So
Yeah, the problem is like the beginning, it's almost so difficult from the beginning that you need to be able to kind of check everything that's happening at all different times. And the tutorial wasn't that great. Like there really wasn't one. It's just kind of, it'll say like, oh, you can do this. And then you close it out and it's like, oh, wait, how do I do like these 8 things that you just said in this one page? So there was a lot of like, okay, there's basically like, there's not like a specific timer, but time is going by. So people are getting hurt and if you're not actually like doing stuff, if you're not collecting things, like if you're just trying to figure out what to do, you're just wasting precious time. So it'd be much more helpful to have more kind of a tactile feel with it.
Let me know when this goes on sale, because I've been looking to scratch that real-time strategy itch for a long time. I know they are remaking Age of Empires 2, which I'm definitely going to get because that was an amazing game back in the day. And yeah, much to your point, strategy games like that were made for PC are horrid.
Yeah, I don't know why I tried it, because like
console, like
you know, I was thinking like
was
playing StarCraft on console would be awful. Like I love StarCraft, but playing it
Yeah.
on console, I can't imagine.
Yeah, and XCOM wasn't too bad. Like it wasn't anything dumb like you were saying with like the rotating by hitting 2 directionals at once or anything like that. But like I was constantly when you need to. Like with XCOM, it was a turn-based strategy, and you need to be very precise about where you're placing your troops. And when I'm constantly moving over the same spot 50 times with the analog stick, where like a mouse and keyboard are so much more precision-based. All right, got it. Made it there.
Today, Junior.
Nailed it. You know, I can see why that'd be an issue. It actually, you talking about it reminded me of I don't know what the game is called, but I saw this YouTuber who I also don't remember the name of doing it. Where
Just a vague dream
On fire
memory.
today.
it might have not happened.
Mark Cerny.
There's this Mark Carney. There's this game where you basically kind of like what you were doing in this, setting all of the rules, but you're basically just letting the city live, and it'll ask you to do several things. And he tried to do this specific way where he did it like very, very anarchist. So basically, the government had zero control of anything. Every single question that came up, there was always 5 choices. He'd always pick like, nope, people figure it out. Nope, people figure it out. Nope, people figure it out. Government has no control. Do whatever you want. Anarchy. It was so prosperous and successful. The rich kept getting richer, and somehow the wealth, like they didn't care that it was anarchy, and like
That's
the whole
great.
thing kept being prosperous, and it was really cool. I'm gonna make it my homework this week to find that. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to him on YouTube and find out what game it was, and you send you a link to you guys, because it's a really cool thing to watch.
That would be a fun. See, those are the games that I wouldn't mind playing on a phone, like some sort of like RTS where you're just kind of like scrolling around. Like
Yeah, every time I try to find one on the phone, they always end up being garbage
Yeah,
at
that'd
the
be a
end.
good idea. I mean, that specific game might be hard just because I feel like the screen would be too small.
Yeah, if it has a
to,
lot
like,
of
zoom
sub
in.
menus or it's really in like
This
depth.
one I was talking about didn't really need a lot of buttons.
Now, I'm actually surprised that I don't know if either of you heard about the. It was probably a year ago that it came out. Jurassic Park, the theme park game.
Yes,
Matt
I watched that, I
really
think.
wanted
You did
me to
buy
play
it.
that.
I think
I figured that would be right up your alley.
So I didn't buy it when it came out because it was like $60 and it didn't get great reviews.
Yeah,
and
it
then
didn't-
like
yeah.
I think a few months later it was like I think I got it on the Humble Bundle or it was some egregious price. I got it for like $10 or $15 like a few months
Wow.
after it came out. And
I paid 60.
yeah, I played it for
One of you really wanted me to buy it. It might have been both of you. I don't remember.
No, I wasn't really talking about it when
It was
came
Dan
out.
then.
It probably was me.
But yeah, I for some reason I just couldn't get into it still.
I couldn't get into it just because I feel like
Was it because I liked XCOM? Is that why you were
no,
thinking
because I
of
know
it?
you like Roller Coaster Tycoon and SimCity.
Oh, I love Roller Coaster
Yeah,
Tycoon.
so those type of games, it literally is build your own theme park, except this one's more, where it was like, oh, Roller Coaster 1 is broken down. This one, you actually have an emergency
T-Rex
if it
has
broke down.
escaped.
Yeah, T-Rex, the gate is broken, you need to fix it.
It's
or
like
the T-Rex-
roughly the same emergency level.
Oh, yeah. Cotton candy machine down. It looks really fun. It's just very, very like in depth, and for me, those type of games can be daunting, especially when the game is constantly like time is passing you by, and
And they keep adding stuff. Like I remember, like it was like you could go on fossil missions to get more dinosaurs and things like that.
Yeah.
which is cool in theory, but I think it's again a problem where a lot of these games they kind of they put too much stuff at the beginning, and it's just kind of overwhelming to the point where you're like, I need some sort of really more like a streamlined goal of what to do.
Yeah, or
I mean,
even
that's
a
how I
quick
feel.
level
Maybe I'm
like,
just
hey,
dumb, but
because the first one they make you build is like, oh, build a not a not Velociraptor. Oh my god, I can't think of it. What's the one that in the first one it's like lying like half dead? It's like one
Triceratops.
Thank you. The Triceratops, and it's like, oh, build a gate and then feed it, and then build like a feeding ground, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna bring in some attackers, and it's like bring these in. So they do that, but then it's like, all right, you need to set up your electricity and you need to hook it up, and so it became a little.
Yeah, XCOM was very daunting too with that kind of stuff, but I loved it. I think Jurassic Park, the only reason I didn't want to get into that was because there was just this was not a well thought out research decision. It was simply just, I don't know, if it's based off of an IP, I don't really trust it that much, and then I never really remember hearing anything too great about it, so I just didn't look at it after that.
Spider-Man.
No, I know, but I trust PlayStation exclusives. At that point, they have a good track record.
That's true. Well, and the company who made it did make a bunch
also,
of games.
I didn't buy that until like a year later when it already had amazing reviews.
Yeah, everyone was so excited about it like a year before it came out, and I was like, it just looks like a dumb Spider-Man game.
I was worried about
I didn't
that
get
too,
excited until like a month before
Yep.
it came out, because like, oh, this game actually looks
Dan and I
good.
were both worried that it was just going to be QuickTime events, and luckily we were both wrong about that.
No, yeah, the combat was fantastic.
So I didn't really. Oh God, I need help,
What do you
guys.
What do you
I
need
was
help
just
with?
talking
What's
about all
going
these
on?
games that I need to play, and
Oh, what was the thing that you were mad at yourself?
That's what I'm about to
Oh,
talk
sorry,
about.
sorry. Got ahead of myself.
I've sat here and downloaded, uninstalled, and re-downloaded
I know what
Clash
this is.
Royale and Gears Pop.
Nice.
So
That is
many
a problem.
times.
I saw that Instagram post. I laughed.
I got a problem. I generally enjoy
Pop.
playing those games, but in the end, I'm not accomplishing anything. They are both waste of times. I should only be using them on car rides, and even then, I should be playing my Game Boy or 3DS. I always say, hey, do whatever's fun. And while I am having fun with these games, I feel like it turned into more of a bad habit, something I need to go to away for, like a clinic or something, or have an intervention. So
A mobile game addict.
here's what we're going to do,
Rehabilitation.
guys.
I'm not doing anything.
No. But you're going to watch me.
I'm
do
going to keep
something.
playing Mario Kart. You can't stop me.
I'm on my phone right now.
Okay.
I'm holding down Clash Royale.
Yep.
I'm uninstalling it.
All right. You're just gonna
Holding down Gears Pop.
For the listeners,
Uninstalling
he's
it right
not.
now.
He's not really on.
No, I did.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't you dare badmouth me.
So how long till you reinstall them?
He's installing it now.
What you guys have to give me a punishment if I reinstall them. You take the rest of the podcast to think about that. I'm going to move on to the rest of the. Oh God,
Ooh. All right.
You're gonna
I
have
need
no
I
hands
need
at the end of this
verification
we need
also from
we need
you.
some PG related.
All right. No, I got this. All right.
I don't. I'm not going to be turning tricks on the street corners or anything if I re-download it. But as for games I've been playing, well, not too much. Another busy week for old A&D. I did receive Link's Awakening,
Nice.
the European edition, collector's edition, the Dreamers edition, the Europe version, which came with the game. And Switch has been very good about this. I guess it's really up to whoever's developing it. But I noticed almost all of the Nintendo published games have reversible covers, which is really nice. This one
are fun.
has a nice one of the 2D animated opening to the game, kind of on the cover, which I loved. I'm a sucker for 2D animation. It also came with a steelbook that looks like the original Game Boy with the kind of it says the name of the game on the screen. It came with an art book that I'm afraid to open because I don't want to spoil anything about the game because I haven't actually even played the original. I'm still on the verge of whether or not do I want to finish Minish Cap, play through Ocarina of Time, play through A Link to the Past, and then play the original Link's Awakening,
Don't break your
and then
rule.
play the new one. No, actually, no.
Don't do that.
You're so close to it. It's not-
Cut Link to the Past out. Sorry. No. I have to finish Minish Cap, play Ocarina of Time, play the original Link's Awakening, and then play this one.
No, just play this one.
Just play this one?
yeah. That's
I
so
say
much.
I
And
say
you
the
know-
opposite. I say keep going. It's
Maybe
not-
we should set
if
up
it
a
was-
poll.
If it was down the line, like way down the line,
Dan.
I'd say all right, go for it.
You get on the Twitter, make a poll for specifically at Highly Andy. Make a poll, explain the situation.
Isn't this your Twitter thing?
No, the Manabar podcast.
Oh, you want the
Twitter.
Manabar podcast?
Yeah,
Okay,
but just
all right.
at me. Do your Twitter things. Do the thing. Make a poll.
Do the Twitter. Okay.
We'll let the people who follow us on Twitter, so we will follow them, decide. Also, the 18 that downloaded last week's episode. I don't know if they're on Twitter or not. We love. Please download us. We're a little desperate.
This went different.
I got a grape, guys. Also,
you have a grape?
Yeah, I'm feeling gripe.
Oh, okay.
Gripe with an I.
He has a grape.
I do have grapes in the fridge. Would you like some?
A single grape. What's the grape?
I'm filling this time up because I didn't really play anything of note in the past. Oh, I sold Borderlands, or it's on eBay to sell.
All right.
And I'm fine with the decision.
That's fair.
So there we go. But the grape. Can we get all the developers together?
Okay.
And unanimously say that, depending on what controller you're using, I don't know if it whatever the bottom one is at the time. It could be X, it could be A. I think on Xbox it might also be A. That is the jump button.
Yeah.
It is not triangle. It is not Y. I'm looking at you, Bethesda. I am looking at you, that other company that did it. Whoever made BioShock. And all these other developers. It is getting too hard for me to jump in between games and remember that I need to switch buttons. X or that bottom button has universally been jump for most games, or if you have a 2-button on the side controller, it's always A.
Well, that's why you got to finish the game and before you start a new one. I'll jump back and forth and back and forth.
I got to be honest, this is on the game developers.
Okay, it's their fault. Fair.
I don't. What if I like to, I don't know. It just seems a little silly.
Well, can't you reconfigure the?
What is it on Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption? That bottom button's just to run faster. What's jump on there? Circle or
I think
square?
it's square. I think they typically have it at square.
Fuck you,
All right,
developers. I don't know.
You know what I want is for them to figure out where to put the subtitles in. I can never find it.
The what?
The subtitle option. It's always like, is it in sound? Is it in?
Oh yeah, menu option is a whole different
visual?
thing.
Is it
yeah.
in gameplay? Like it just pick up.
I'm just saying.
It should be in sound.
Let's get on board. Let's make a little conformity between games, just a little bit, enough for us not to get confused and frustrated.
All right. I don't think I have that much of a problem with that, but okay.
It's been quite an ordeal.
All right.
I'll admit.
I'm sorry for that. It sounds rough.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andy, we have one vote in for wait, play it in order.
Oh,
Matt, put down your phone.
Was it you who voted?
Maybe.
Oh, so Matt, you can do whatever you want.
That's why I said
Dan's
Matt.
cheating already. Yeah, that's all of note for me. Also I canceled GameFly. Matt, are you GameFlying or buying Luigi's Mansion 3?
I haven't really decided yet. It's technically on my GameFly list.
It's coming out next week.
Yeah, if I don't get it, which I probably won't, maybe I'll buy it. I'll have to see what games I'm playing, how my life is going next week. I do really want to play it.
How your life is going.
I'm just concerned it's not going to be a game I'm going to want to put a lot of money into in. So
Is it $60 off the bat?
Yeah. So it might be a game where I'll buy it and then just sell it a week later after I've beaten it, or it might be just a GameFly game, or who knows. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Still undecided. There's so much stuff coming out. Like all the stuff coming out next week, and then Luigi's Mansion.
Gotta play it on Halloween though. Come on, Matt. Come on.
Isn't that like it comes out like on a Thursday?
Matt.
Which is kind of weird.
Come on. Every game comes out on a Thursday. Call of Duty's coming out on a Thursday. Borderlands came out on a Thursday. That's like the new day. Tuesday's gone. Forget about Tuesday.
Those games technically come out on Friday, but like GameStop just lets you get them early.
Well, okay, fine. You got me there.
Plus, I'm usually playing D&D on Thursday, so
That I also am playing D&D on Thursdays, but I'm leaving early tomorrow for some very specific reasons.
fair enough.
Or I might not. I might just wait until Friday and get it.
Whatever.
But I won't be able to play it Friday.
What is that?
Because
yeah, right.
I have plans Friday night
Right.
to celebrate someone's birthday.
Ugh, what a douche.
I know, he is kind of a dick.
Fucking, yeah. Fucking, no.
So we only briefly talked about this. We already had kind of a long, drawn-out conversation on microtransactions, so I don't know how much you guys really want to talk about this, but Bethesda is now selling on a $100 annual subscription for exclusive Fallout 76 features. Now, Fallout 76, was that a game you bought and then it's just free to play each month? You don't have to pay an additional price aside from a PlayStation Plus account. So now this game that I assume is still terrible. I haven't really heard anybody say anything negative or positive about it. People just sort of forgot about it. But now this game that is possibly still terrible is trying to charge a $13 a month Battle Pass fee or $100 a year.
And what can you get for all that?
Who's
$100 a year?
buying that?
They are digging themselves in a hole.
I don't know. What do you get? Does it?
Okay. You guys talk about how stupid it is while I look at what we get.
Bethesda has gone down a terrible path.
They're really like leaning into that whole evil umbrella corporation. Like, let's be as bad as and awful as we can be.
Yep.
It's like,
I mean, they even added Battle Royale in a game that is totally not designed for Battle Royale.
it's just so strange. I'm surprised that they're even still trying to monetize this game. Like, it came out over a year ago. I feel like there's not a lot of people playing it. Like,
It
there
says
can't
that
be more than I mean, I'm sure it's less than 1 million people are still playing that regularly.
I mean,
That's
it
still a
does
lot of
say
money,
that
but-
it's been improving each month, but what you get you get private server access, which does that matter? Does that mean you can play alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like create a group with your friends. I
You
guess
can finally
and
do
just-
that thing you wanted to do, but you have to pay extra money to do it, Dan.
Yeah. No. So
Uh,
not only that, it's a subscription fee. It's subscription fee. So at that point, it's like World of Warcraft. So and I can't be
You
locked
get
down to one game.
exclusive items, including a survival tent that players can. This is from Kotaku, by the way. That players can use as a makeshift base and fast travel point, and some unique outfits and emotes. The subscription also doles out 1,650 atoms a month.
Hooray.
Atoms are in-game currency used for microtransactions. The in-game yada yada yada. So it's kind of like any other in-game currency. So you can get 1,100 atoms for $10. So 1,650 is probably worth like $15
Yeah.
of real money. So you're paying $13 a month. You're at the very least getting $2 more than that in atoms plus a bunch of other things. So by that logic, it's considerably fair price. But like we've seen what you can buy with those atoms on the store, and it's really not much. You can pay like $10 for a couch skin or something like that. Like it's all these like
Yeah,
really
buy a
dumb
fridge.
stuff. The private server thing is really odd. Notably, Fallout 76 has not gone free to play. The base game still costs $40, though appears to be on sale in most shops for $24 at the moment.
It's just so crazy. It's like there's like
I thought it went free to play.
So I just
no, you still have to buy the game, but you don't have to pay
I was
any-
thinking of Destiny 2.
Yes, Destiny 2 went
Has that
free to
gone
play.
free to play yet?
It went free to play, but you still have to buy like the latest expansion. So I mean, you can play the first, years plus worth
Oh,
of
that's
content.
that's
without paying.
Bethesda pulling the old ODST on me. You
So-
get the past crap if you buy the new thing.
So just judging, I just went online just to see. So Steam charts .com, it shows you average like number of like active players. In the last 30 days, it's had 11,444 players. I don't know if that's a lot. Let's go, like if you go to, what does that say at the top? 12,000 something?
12,814 playing 14 minutes ago.
Okay, so
The
as of right now,
the 24-hour peak
at a time.
At a time, the 24-hour peak was 16,029. Is there a way to find out how many unique people have played? Oh, the all-time peak was 471,000.
okay.
That was
now,
like
now the other
all-time
question
peak.
would be, let's say,
was a
I'm trying to think of
long
a,
time
like,
ago.
not, I don't know if Breakpoint, no, not Breakpoint, a game that requires like a subscription fee type of thing, and compare it to that, like what an average is, because I'm pretty sure 11,000 is tiny.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I did the all version of this, so its peak was like immediately at launch.
Oh yeah, and it's plummeted.
It plummeted almost immediately and never regained steam. So like the average user base is probably like, hey, that's the name of the website you're looking at. So the average user base is probably like roughly 12 to 16,000
Yeah.
at a time, which isn't. I don't know. Can you compare that to anything?
Well, that's
like,
what I'm doing. I'm trying to think. Destiny 2, maybe.
Apex, maybe Fortnite,
Destiny 2 would probably be a good one, just because that's
similar. Maybe.
Similar in style,
I would
but
like to
actually it's
compare it to
pretty good.
Anthem. Is Anthem EA is still working on Anthem too. That's the funniest thing.
Okay, so we have Destiny 2.
well. I mean,
Oh, wow. All right. Destiny 2 has, as of 16 minutes ago, 130,879 active
So
players.
10 times the players.
Wow.
For a game that
All right.
arguably at launch already had better content than what Fallout 76 is now, and Destiny
came
2
out like a year before too.
Destiny 2 has only gotten better. Go back to Destiny 2 for me. Can I see it?
Oh,
real quick?
sorry. I was looking at it. I was going to look at Anthem.
No, it's no problem. I just oh god, what did I do?
You know how to use an Android.
Well, where did the Destiny 2 go? Find it for me, Dan.
I will. There you go.
Okay, that was easy.
Thought he knew how to use an Android.
So its all-time peak was 292,000. So it's lost at its peak. It's
About
lost
50% of its
lost
player base.
less than half
Yeah.
of its player base. Where Fallout 76. Well, what did I say? The peak was 160,000.
No, I think you said 400.
Oh yeah, 472,000.
So it is lost. And
So it had a higher peak and is way
more
way
than 90%
lower
of its
now.
players.
Yeah, because there was no content.
Yeah.
Now they've slowly added stuff in, but what have they done to try to get that player base back?
That's why I want to see Anthem. Even Anthem is.
I mean, that's just on the PC, so obviously there's more people playing on the
Oh, is
Xbox
that
than
just
the
PC
PS2.
numbers?
This is just PC, but I feel like with subscription, like these type of games that require like constant like DLC and things like that, I feel like the PC version, especially for Fallout, because the mod community is huge.
That's
and
true.
That's really, I feel like who they're trying to target with this is the PC players.
But considering that both Destiny and Fallout were primarily console games originally, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that more people play those on console, especially Fallout. Actually, no, Fallout started on PC, didn't it? The originals?
Yep.
But then it went more console heavy. So I don't know. It'd be cool to find a site that had maybe like all of the numbers or the popularity in general. That's still a really good site. What's the site, Dan?
Steamcharts.com.
Steam Charts. So if anybody is ever interested in seeing general PC numbers, that's
What is it? Is there a game that came out about the same time as Fallout 76?
Anthem.
Yeah, for some reason the site doesn't have Anthem. I don't know
Zero
if it's
people are
just
playing
none.
Anthem.
Well, you can't play it on Steam, right? You can only play it on.
Oh,
like,
good
their-
point.
Oh, Steam
All right,
Charts
yeah,
just
yeah,
through
That's
Steam?
probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh.
is there another game that came out about the same time? I'm just curious because I want to see what the active users
know.
are for these people. I'm trying to think like Ghost Recon, but
I
that's
guess
like
you could do,
relatively new.
Division 2, maybe.
That's a good one.
But I mean, I think basically the point is it's ridiculous to.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I mean,
to
I
start-
guess if people want to buy it and if they want to make it, I don't know.
I just don't understand their business model here. Like they should be trying to get more people to play the game. They had that horrendous E3 showing with those fake people clapping. They really haven't done anything to like. I'm Dan and I know you don't really like the Fallout games as much, Matt. Dan and I are the target audience for this game because
I would like a
Bethesda.
good one though, because the ones I only ever tried were Fallout 4 and this Fallout 76, which I didn't like. But I've heard like Fallout New Vegas is really good, and Fallout 3 is like those are supposed to be the best ones. So it'd be nice to play something like Outer Worlds that might actually be newer game, but like has the
Which
spirit
is
of those older games.
made in the vein of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Is that the correct terminology? Made in the vein or spiritual successor, I would say,
Yes.
to Fallout.
Oh, the
New
predecessor.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Where that's like kind of like Ukulele was the spiritual successor to Banjo Kazooie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Made same team who used to work at Rare.
Oh.
And that's why they were like little like Easter eggs of Banjo Kazooie in the game and stuff like that.
Oh, I just knew it was like a pretty good platformer. I didn't know.
Which it's even gotten better over time. They've tightened up the controls now.
Oh, okay.
What other news items are we talking about today? Is there anything else big that's going? Oh, Diablo.
Yeah. So the biggest secret that everyone already knows
Diablo
for like the
4.
last year and a half is that Diablo 4 is going to be announced at this BlizzCon next week. There was like a leak on some website about an art book for
yeah.
like Diablo 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're going to do a big push on D4, which I'm excited about, especially because I feel like, especially with Overwatch, they kind of released that not too long after they announced that they were even making it. It was like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, I think.
No. I saw a trailer for Overwatch like 3 or 4 years before it came out.
Really? Was
It
it
was-
just like a leaked trailer, or was it the real legit?
It was the real legit trailer, but it had no gameplay. It was like a cinematic trailer, but it was a long time. So long that I'm like, wasn't there this game Blizzard was making a long time ago? But once they showed gameplay, maybe it came out 3 or 4 months after they actually showed gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But I was going to say I'd be really excited if that. I'm hoping if they do announce it next week that they'll be able to say like, oh, hey, we're pretty far into development, because they were thinking about announcing it last year and it just didn't come together quick enough. That's what the kind of rumors are.
Well, they need a win now.
So with another year in
God, yes, they
development, I'm hoping they can be like, all right, this is going to come out in 2020 or something, so that we're not waiting 3 more years for the next game in the Diablo franchise, which would be nice.
Or even if they have to make Diablo 4, like they have to wait it a little bit, throw in that Diablo 2 remastered I mean, I'd be
Yeah,
very
it's another thing
interested.
that kind of just got announced.
Kind of
leaked,
like what
that they're gonna
Metroid
announce the
was-
D2 remaster at
Yeah,
BlizzCon.
like what I'm hoping that Metroid, and I'm pretty sure you are doing, is hoping that Metroid.
Nintendo, where's our Metroid Prime trilogy remastered?
Yes, perfect,
Okay.
perfect to
I
put
get
it
really
out. But
heated about that. I'm sorry.
I know. Actually, quick transition to a little side topic that I saw. IGN released a video of the top 100 games ever made, and Metroid Prime was on there, and Final Fantasy VII was on there. What a shock. Can you guess, both of you gentlemen, guess where Final Fantasy VII was ranked?
4.
Best games ever made.
Best games
Oh, you know
ever
what?
made.
Ever made? I bet it was like 9. I'm sure they're like pretentious. Like, oh, it's not
22.
97.
97. Okay, that's
That's
lot worse than I was thinking.
baloney.
Yeah.
That Burnout,
Yeah,
one of the Burnout
It's like,
games.
everyone thinks it's cool. We don't think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's also hard because, all right, so
Like the top 10, they got pretty, like.
I'm giving IGN a little bit of slack here because who made the list? Was it voted by gamers? Was it voted by just the people at IGN? Also, there's differentiating opinion. It's hard to do 100 lists of all games. That's why I usually do like a subsect of games. Just
Yeah,
because
like
there's-
action games. Like
there's
they put like
differentiating
Street Fighter.
opinions.
Street Fighter was like number 20. I was like, no,
The first one or the second one? Wasn't the second one like
one,
the best
but I don't
one?
care. All of them are the I'm sorry, but the amount of work that went into Final Fantasy VII just in the world building alone is more impressive than two people fighting with with a boat floating in the background with a bunch of tourists.
And that's a good example. That's
So-
what I mean. There was probably a lot of people with differentiating opinions
Yeah.
making up this list. So it just seems kind of odd. It's almost undoable. It's like doing the top 100 movies ever made because everybody has a different taste in movies. Everyone has different taste in, video games. And it's like they probably looked at like things like, how influential were they were
Yeah, nostalgia factor.
because Street Fighter was actually the first violent fighting game. It predated Mortal Kombat. I found out the other day.
Street Fighter,
Yes,
the first one.
unless the YouTube video lied to me.
Yeah, but
I
it's
have
not.
a
It's
funny-
not Mortal Kombat violent though.
Yeah, like Mortal Kombat
it's
was
not. But it came up with that kind of. That was the first like game
Fighter.
to do like the in-ring fighting. Like how influential was that? And I apologize to anybody listening if I'm wrong. Because I was just watching a video because there was this video by Rebel Taxi that I was watching yesterday about Dark Stalkers, which was this other fighting game that came out that was made by company. I think it was the same people. I think it was Konami. Might have been, but it was another fighting game, but it didn't get as much love, and it's only had a few games. And they were talking about how Street Fighter was predated Mortal Kombat, but everybody knows Mortal Kombat when you say fighting games. It's like synonymous. First thing I think of is Tekken. When
Yeah, I mean,
someone
I would say
mentions-
Street Fighter would be like the canonical fighting game.
What was the top 10, Dan?
the typical ones.
Super Mario Brothers,
Mario, Halo.
Breath of the Wild was, I think, the second highest Zelda, and I very much disagreed with that. I was
What
like,
was the
"Ugh."
first highest Zelda? Ocarina of Time.
No,
the
Link to the
original?
Past.
Ooh, good for Link to the Past.
So and then
Might be my favorite Zelda game. I'm
the
not
number
sure yet.
one. Can you guess what the number one game was?
Super Mario Bros.
Mario 3?
Super Mario
Tetris?
Bros. Oh, the original?
Yeah, for Nintendo.
No, you guys are freaking close though.
Well, hang on. Super Mario 64.
Nope, it's close.
Close. That was close. Oh, is it a Super Mario game?
Yeah, that's why I was saying you both.
64, 3, and 1. What the hell would possibly? It can't
Is
be
it
2.
2? You can't.
It's not 2.
It's two. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not. Is the original Super Bros like the arcade one?
No.
Donkey Kong?
Unless of course you guys are getting the name wrong.
Do you mean Super Mario Brothers World?
Yeah.
You're saying? Okay.
Super
Oh,
Mario.
Super
World.
Mario
Yeah.
World.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no, it was like
Okay.
Super Mario 1. No, Super Mario 3. No.
I did mentally skip right over.
Yeah, that's why I was like, whoa.
my favorite Mario game
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
when
Like,
I was talking about that.
I completely the typical top 20s were, the Ocarina of Time, what's it called? Ocarina of Time.
Do you know what Ocarina of Time was influential for that you don't really think about? Auto
Open
jumping
World?
over platforms
Oh.
instead of having to manually jump.
Yeah, I don't
But it
have
really
time for
was
that.
also like an open world game. That's one of the other things. I mean,
Well,
it
for the
pretty
time.
much-
For the time, it was open world.
I mean, yeah, you could go to the lake. What was that called? Lake Hyrule or something.
It was linear in its own rights,
I mean, you
though,
couldn't
because
do
you had
much.
to unlock certain things to get to the other places. Like they had a set path that you could go on, like the guy blocking the bridge, so you can get into Gruta Valley early and stuff like that.
Do you want me to repeat myself again? No, yes. No, damn it!
Oh, the owl.
damn.
Dan cocked his head. Nobody can see that, though.
Oh, sorry.
Dumb owl. Going back to Blizzard, though, like, they don't only need... They're still on fire. Hence our episode title last week. But when it comes to Diablo, it's more than just, like, the current stuff with, like, the whole Hong Kong thing that they randomly, like, really got too deeply involved in way too early without really thinking of what a PR disaster would be. But they're still hurting from the Diablo mobile thing that happened like 2 years ago that still hasn't come out.
Yep.
And it's like
which that's another thing. Like people are thinking maybe it'll be like a
dual threat.
They'll just do like a launch right at BlizzCon, or maybe they'll be like, oh, it's coming out next week. There was actually rumors that it was going to come out on the 25th for the last like month or two, but that doesn't seem like that's gonna
of
October, like a few days before BlizzCon. But that doesn't seem like that's going to pan out.
Do you guys think BlizzCon is going to be a disaster, like a fun one to watch?
It might. I mean, like, there's a lot of games that
Dan
are also
shook his head no.
On top of the D4 and D2 remaster that are pretty much confirmed. There's also been like rumors about an Overwatch 2 potentially being announced.
I did hear rumblings. That's why I was going to say when you were talking about Overwatch.
Andy made a confused and concerned face just now.
Yeah, and then they could announce like a new
maybe I should just
World of Warcraft expansion.
Everything.
So I'm sure a lot of stuff's going to happen. Another thing that's interesting to note is like one of the best parts of I feel like the BlizzCons in the past years have been the question and answer segments. Like last year with the
everyone's got phones. Yeah, right?
is this an off?
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, last year. Is this an off
year?
season? April Fool's joke when they were bringing out Diablo Immortal. This year they're doing it so that you have to like write on a card your question and hand it to them before.
That's so
no one's going to be able to
corny.
say anything about Hong Kong. No one's going to be able to make fun of their mobile game. It's just going to be like positive
They
things.
should totally embrace the meme that they had last year. And the first thing they should say coming out is, y'all have phones, right? Like, totally embrace the goofiness.
The questions thing, because how many people are going to try to go in there and, like, directly protest them, like, on the microphone and all that? Like, from a PR standpoint, I understand why they're having people write down the questions.
Oh, see, I stupid
That's
marketing.
Like the magic of BlizzCon, though, of, like, people asking any question they want.
The marketing PR, like, think about it. If you're the company, for the head of the company, hey, we need to garner these folks that we lost back. How can we do this? Half the Diablo community is probably like diehard gamers. They're goofy. They're dorky. They want to have fun. They don't want to take it seriously. Make fun of yourselves. Just come out and be like, we got our biggest release yet, and then obviously know that the phone game is not the primary like sell here. It's obviously Diablo, the real game. So joke with it. Throw out some jokes.
You're completely right.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Hong Kong issue is a real serious issue, and they're trying to avoid any PR disaster whatsoever.
Well, that part I understand. Like, try and avoid the Hong Kong thing, but just make fun of yourself. Like, just be like, yeah, we fudged up. Like,
who's the guy in charge? Who's the CEO of Bethesda, or the guy in charge, the lead developer? I don't really even know his name. The guy with the bushy hair who always wears like the weird leather jacket on stage.
Oh yeah, I can't. Pete Hines is the PR guy, but I can't think of him.
To kind of make fun of the fact that Fallout 76
yes.
was a complete disaster. Oh, different company, granted, but I do get Bethesda and Blizzard confused once in a while. He kind of tried to do that, but at the same time, he didn't really want to sit there and basically crap on his own. They hired fake people to clap, like from I don't know how BlizzCon's going to go. I'm concerned about an Overwatch 2, but I guess I've also gotten like 3 years of free content out of Overwatch 1 and 100 different characters, so I'm pretty much okay with them putting out another $60 game. Considering, but like I feel like what BlizzCon is going to be is they're going to announce Diablo 4 and 2, which everybody already knows about, and everything else is just going to be either a cinematic trailer or an empty promise, and they're not going to talk about the Hong Kong thing at all, and then everybody's going to give them crap for it.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I'm kind of excited, all the Hong Kong stuff aside, excited to see what a D4 could look like. Like, and I didn't really love D3 as much as everyone else did, but I feel like there's a lot of potential there. So if they fixed their kind of like auction house and the crazy drop rates they had on items for legendaries and things like that, and when D3 came out, it could be a lot of fun. So
D3. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, would you be up for if they kind of changed the game a little bit into more of like a little bit of a hack and slash feel? That's what I
don't know. I guess I'll have to see what It depends on what you mean by hack and slash, like just a side scrolling, like
No. I mean, just like from
like Dark Souls, but not as hard or something.
Well, that camera, basically embracing like the camera angle where it's instead of like bird's eye view, it's more like detailed and you
Like
have
over the shoulder.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't have as much control. Like once you attack, especially if you're a ranged character, your character like auto locks onto everyone, and I kind of like
I
the
think
game.
at that point you're changing the core of what the game is, though.
Well, I know, but some games, again, I would be open to it if it's Diablo, whatever it is. If it's the same way it was with Diablo 3, or they do the new, like maybe they do a new hack and slash. I'll do whatever. Either way, I'm gonna pre-order it as soon as it's available, because I enjoyed the heck out of it. And even like I said, Diablo 2, which our friend of ours in college loved a lot, Kyle.
I saw him last weekend.
Yes. Oh, did you? That's cool.
He was at a wedding I was at.
But yeah, no, he was a big.
Hi, Kyle.
He was.
He doesn't listen to the
He
podcast,
was.
but
He was a big proponent for Diablo 2.
no, he loved that game.
So
to Matt's point about like, he just didn't love Diablo 3 as much as whatever the predecessor, just didn't like it as much as everybody else. I think for me, it was kind of like
cookie cutter, right? That's what I heard a lot. Cookie cutter.
For me, it was kind of like Assassin's Creed 2 for me, where I just disliked the other two Diablos so much that whether or not it was just a fine game, it seemed like an amazing game to me because I disliked the other one so much, and for some reason this one, it was just fun. It was mindless fun. It was like the Doom of Diablo, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun game. I just didn't.
Co-op specifically, though, I don't know
Yeah.
how much I would have enjoyed it alone. I don't know how much.
It is a game where, like, it's just repetitive after you're playing by yourself, and I don't feel like there's a lot of challenge, especially for the first few hours. I played it on one of the hardest difficulties, and you just kind of sit back and it's like kill. That's why one of the things I was excited when they brought it to consoles is they added that roll mechanic. So I like the idea that you could kind of dodge out of the way, especially if someone's using like an aerial attack where it takes, like 3 or 4 meters or something. You could dodge roll out of it so you don't get like poisoned or stunned or whatever. But either way, I'm excited for the Diablo 2 remastered and Diablo 4 and just any other new IPs potentially they have going. I kind of don't want to look into what else there is. I like when I see it first thing and go, oh, whoa, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk about it in 2 weeks, hopefully.
When
we
is
find out a lot
BlizzCon?
more. It's like the next weekend, so it's the weekend of November 1st.
Oh,
That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
oh, okay.
So we'll find out about.
Good, something to take my mind off Death Stranding that week after.
Yeah, you can do that while you can watch that while you're playing Outer Worlds or Call of Duty or whatever.
That is true. And Andy, just to a call back to what you were talking about earlier, Street Fighter did come out first in 1987.
Also, it was Street Fighter 2 that made it to number 15 on the top 100 list, which is like regarded as like one of the best fighting games of all time.
I'm sorry, but it's not that much better than Final Fantasy VII.
I'm looking at the top 20. I just looked at the top 20 games.
You guys aren't gonna let this go.
No, I
Not
just,
at 97. I'm sorry. That was a
Out of
cluster.
curiosity, I looked at the top 20 games now, and all of these games I feel like deserve the recognition they're getting. I am especially happy for number 3 on a personal level. Number 3 is a game we're going to talk about in our discussion segment, so I'm not going to bring it up. So keeping that in mind, is there anything else you guys want to bring to the table before we get into that?
Nope.
And I'm sure there is something I want to talk about, but I won't remember until after the podcast.
Sweet, we can talk about it then.
It's over.
The cast.
So Matt, you picked the topic this week. Why don't you introduce it for us?
Sure. So the topic is, what is your favorite humor in a video game, or what is the funniest video game? Just kind of anything on that lines. So the reason I thought about this was actually 2 specific games from my childhood that were pretty funny. And then I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking about more and more funny games, which is nice. There's actually more than I thought there was, but I'll just try to name a few. So the 2 that I was thinking of from back in my childhood, they're both for PlayStation 1. They're both mostly funny in like cutscenes. So the first one is called, they're not super popular games. The first one's called Tiny Tank. where you play this tiny miniature tank. So it's interesting the way the game's set up. It's set up in like 100 years in the future, but the cutscenes in between every level is like 100 years ago flashback, and you're basically this little yellow mascot for like basically think of it as the equivalent of that Terminator company, Cyberdyne or whatever. Skynet, yeah. That makes all they make all the like crazy Terminators for war so that people don't have to fight. So there's this like cute little tank, and he's doing these promos to get people to vote yes on this kind of like, you know, so they can start making these killing machines, so people don't have to fight in war. And you can see him during the process of these like slowly being like, wait, this isn't cute. This is the most horrific thing ever. And he's just kind of like joking and messing around and like making fun of the director guy that's kind of leading him on.
This sounds really familiar.
I've heard of the game.
Is this side scroller?
It's a third person, like, it's not an amazing game itself if you take out the humor, but it's like, so this tank, it's just like an open world kind of, like you're going through, you know, just levels at a time. So you go through like, you know, an open area, and then you'll get into a base, and you'll go through that base, and then you'll go through the next base. But I feel like just like the character, the voice work on the cutscenes from the guy who plays Tiny Tank.
It's like a cute little tank with eyes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I pictured it.
I just thought it was like a person. No, you're literally a little cartoon tank. Sorry, go on, Matt.
Yeah, it's funny. And so he's just making jokes. Like the guy's like, "Oh, you're a cute killing machine." He's like, "I'm a cute killing machine. What the hell does that mean?" And it's just like kind of funny things like that. Another game I was thinking of was Off-World Interceptor Extreme. This is another game for the PlayStation that's not super popular.
Going really deep here with these games.
Super deep. These are some of my favorite childhood games, though. So it's another game where like the game itself isn't terribly funny. It's just a race car game where you're like shooting guys, and then there's like a boss at every end of every level. It's kind of just, you know, you're going forward almost like an airplane and just like on a track and just shooting things. But in between there's this like kind of this over serious, you're like a bounty hunter, so you're killing all these guys for a bounty. And it's like this super serious tone, but it's actually set the same way that Mystery Science Theater is. So there's like two guys in a, you know, in the watching the scene that's happening, and like there's the scene that's happening is these like corporals and these military guys are trying to get you to go on these like serious missions to kill these bad guys, and these guys are just doing like one-off jokes. One of them's a kind of a famous comedian. I forget what his name is. Let's see.
Let's wait while Matt looks it up.
Nope. All right, I lost it. But yeah, it's hard to explain. But just like after all these, like the game itself was very difficult. So after all these levels, just going through these like, you know, 2 to 3 minute like videos of these guys just making these like one-off jokes was really funny. I should have written them down or something, because I feel like this is not a great way to explain it, because, you know, you can't really explain comedy, especially if you're not funny. But yeah, you can always check these out on. I actually watched them on YouTube, so you can actually watch them there.
Could you repeat the name of the game for everybody again? It seemed to be the long title.
Off-World Interceptor Extreme. You're playing like a in like a monster truck.
Sounds like a Duke Nukem Doomish type game. Where
yeah, the game itself, I would give like a 4 out of 10. It's not super fun.
It's
to
for
play.
the humor, though.
Yeah, it's for the
perfect for the
videos
segment.
in between. Yeah, you just play for a little bit and just have fun and just kind of forget about it afterwards.
Tiny Tanks actually sounds kind of goofy.
That
actually sounds really fun.
Play that.
Yeah,
they should put that on
the
PlayStation Classic.
You should. They should. I was watching videos of both of these games on YouTube today, and a lot of the comments were like, "Oh man, I can't wait for it. They should make a PS4 version of this, or like remastered or something for Tiny Tank specifically." So, I definitely think they should. Some other ones that I don't want to take away from what you guys are going to say. So maybe if you guys want,
I'm sure you won't.
Okay, so I was some other kind of honorable mentions were the Portal games, obviously, which are just those are hilarious going through with GLaDOS. Just that voice that you can still remember. Is that one of the ones you were going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
I was going to say, well, we can do honorable mentions after,
All right.
but just in case we don't steal.
I just love how right after I
know.
said, you're not going to guess mine. It's not just one of the most popular games ever made.
When you said that, I was like, okay, it definitely won't be his, because
once
everyone
you said
Portal's like
I
the
was like,
funniest games.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's one of.
Yeah. Sorry. That was my bad. Then I gave you this really evil gesture while you were talking.
I don't think you'll be able to guess mine, at least today. So, haha.
For comedy games? No, probably not.
One of them is kind of only because of recently, it's
Borderlands 3?
no,
Oh.
it only kind of. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So growing up, like older games, I couldn't really think of any that had like this like huge comedic tone to them, or even like an overtone that I could remember. The earliest one I remember that I'm like, wow, this is actually really funny. It's really like poking fun of not only itself but like pop culture in general at the time was Bad Fur Day.
Oh yeah, that was
That
pretty
game
funny.
was like, you know,
Conker's Bad Fur Day?
goofy.
yeah, it was really goofy, really raunchy, especially for the N64. And, you know, it was very like, you got to press the A button. The A button? The A button. It's just like those weird like interactions between characters and the
wall.
back.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, fourth wall's all over the place. Fourth wall didn't exist from the get-go of that game. It was just the three and a ceiling. So that was the first instance. But yeah, what you were saying with Portal, not just Portal, but Portal 2 especially. One of my favorite actors, if not my favorite actor working today, J.K. Simmons, was the voice of I think it was Cal Johnson.
Yeah.
He was the
He
voice.
was the guy. Yeah.
Holy crap!
J.K.
I kind of want
Simmons
to.
has
I
been
kind of want to
everywhere.
play it just for that.
If you look at J.K. Simmons' IMDb page, you'll be really surprised to find out how many actors do voice work in like games and TV shows and cartoons and stuff like that.
All I know is that he nails the friggin' Spider-Man thing. Anyway, go ahead.
Bryan Cranston did the voice of 2 Power Rangers villains before he was well known. Anyways, to the point where the Blue Ranger Billy Cranston was named after him. So there's your little pop culture
Fun
tidbit.
fact. Fun Power
So,
Rangers
anyways,
back in the day.
you know, Portal 1, I mean, the amount of quotes that came from that game alone, but Portal 2 in particular, just, I want to say Dave Johnson or Cal Johnson was the character, just him talking in the background in that old facility, just to himself about nonsensical things. Like the lemons and all this other, like it was just great. I was laughing so hard listening to him talk while like just in the background. J.K. Simmons has such good comedic timing with his voice. Then another one I want to shout out to. It's not really like a game where it's like just like constantly humor, but the overall game is humorous. Is the Phoenix Wright games, especially
I never
the
played those.
Really,
first
those
two.
are funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, then again, it looks ridiculously over the
it
top.
turns court into this really ridiculous, funny thing. It's also a puzzle-solving game, which I like. But no, if you ever get a chance, I never played the third one because they took the main character out of it. But the first 2 Phoenix Wright games are very good. Just super fun to play, super funny interactions between characters. Then, you know, yeah, there's honorable mentions that we can talk about later. I was about to start mentioning them, and then I realized, wait, no, that's the problem we just got into a second ago. I would Portal, like Valve games in general had that like really fun humor to them. It saddens me to no end that they aren't really developing games anymore, and I really wish that we could get kind of that magic back.
Yeah, I was
Left 4
surprised-
Dead had some pretty hilarious
yeah.
quotes.
Oh,
Just, you know, grab and puke. Like, what?
Can I at least have a hint so I can maybe try to guess the games that you're going to talk about, Dan?
I'm trying to give you a hint that pretty much doesn't give it away.
There was one older one and one newer one, I'm guessing.
No, that's the second one that I was talking about. The first one,
Well, not if it's going to take too much time.
Treasure. I know it's probably vague, but if I give you anything else, you guys are going to guess it like that.
So many things.
National Treasure with Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely, the game. Do
Treasure Planet, the
No.
Disney movie that didn't make a lot of money at the box office.
you think I would have played that?
It wasn't a game, it was a movie.
Okay. You want me to just go?
Yes.
National Treasure was also a movie.
You're
Okay.
killing me.
It is Uncharted.
Oh.
Treasure. Okay, Treasure. Anyway, so the Uncharted
Which
series.
close enough to National Treasure. And
That is true.
That's
That's why I was like, you're on the right.
Basically the same.
basically
Essentially.
National Treasure, the game.
Except it doesn't not Nick
I didn't
Cage,
even
but-
know there was really a lot of humor in that game.
Oh, it's all humor. Like he basically, it's kind of reminds me now that I think about it. Kind of whenever he's in a gunfight, he kind of acts a lot like how the Avengers do, where he takes like a serious situation, but he's kind of like groaning, like "Oh, my back!" Like when, while he's in the middle of a gunfight. But the Naughty Dog has a way of just making casual conversation just really funny. Like at one point, I vividly remember this part in the game where you and the reporter that you're with are climbing, and she's above you, and she's trying to reach to
Is this
get
a
over.
don't look up my dress joke?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you were totally stealing.
I've just seen 1,000 sitcoms.
I know,
I'm sorry.
but it was nice because your character turns around and goes, "Wow, like what a view!" Because he's looking at like the beautiful mountains behind him. She goes, "Yeah, I bet." And it's just really like, and he's like, "No, it just he's like, that's not what I meant." And it's just the way that they make it realistic, like two characters are actually talking, and it's not forced. Just like you said with like comedic timing. He just does a fantastic job. I forget the guy's name, not Troy Baker. The other one,
Christopher Nolan? No, that's a
Christopher Nolan. That's not even an actor. That's a director.
Nolan North. Yes, Nolan
North. That's what I was thinking.
He does.
I was like, that's probably right somehow.
Close.
But I'm not sure.
Hey, he helped me. So Nolan North, he just has such perfect like comedic timing, while playing as Nathan Drake, that I loved it. I enjoyed the hell out of, because I didn't really love that game for the shooting mechanics. I just love.
I loved that way the game played.
I just felt like they gave you like 13 bullets and it took like 12 to kill a guy, and then you're picking up and switching guns like way too much.
Well, the gameplay got better as they went along, right?
Oh, absolutely. 4 was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And then 3 was great as well. 2 was neat, but I still hated the fact like you had a 50 caliber handgun, you were shooting a guy like 5 times. It's like, all right, come on, don't be like bullet sponges. But absolutely love the comedy in that. And then the second one is kind of mostly just because of its newest entry into the series, and that would be Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, absolutely.
Trevor, I lost my fucking mind. Just like when you had that
up drunk.
Just when you had
like
when you had that meth head in the back, and he's like, "How far is it, Trevor?" And he's like, "I only let things in the back that I don't care about losing." And it's like, oh my god, like this is hysterical. And then he goes up to like the bikers and he's like, "Where's Fred? Oh, hang on, let me find him." And then he picks up his boot and he's talking because he just killed him like 20 minutes ago. And he's like, "How you doing down there?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm kind of dead." Like he's just being a complete ass. And it's just the way it also makes fun of like just today's society. The other thing that pops in my head is when his wife she's like a klepto and she like steals jewelry, and you end up stealing the cop car and like just getting her in the car, and you just like drive around, and she's like, "Don't say it." What, that you have a problem with stealing? She's like, "Don't even." She's like, they're getting into like ridiculous fights while like in a car chase. But that game in particular was just, I just lost my mind. Just every time Trevor was on the screen, I would just put the controller down and just enjoy.
Yeah, the funniest moment in that game for me was so I know, Matt, you didn't really particularly like the game.
I didn't love it, and I played it like the week it came out, so I kind of forget.
So you could transport into any of the characters. Whenever you would transport into Franklin or who the main guy was,
Michael.
He was more of the main guy. Whenever you transported into them, it was always them doing a mundane task. Whenever you transported into Trevor, he would be being chased by the cops, waking up in a gutter somewhere, or my personal favorite. This was very late in the game. I never was able to make this happen again. You respawned on a scooter. You were following another person on a scooter. And Trevor was talking to the guy on the scooter about how they were scooter buddies. And he was... I followed this guy. I was following this guy for as long as I could, and Trevor kept talking and talking and talking. Like, yep, scooter buddies.
It's awesome.
And I kind of went until either he was just repeating himself or he kind of stopped talking altogether, and then I just killed the guy and ran off. But
I know what I'm doing immediately after this podcast.
Playing Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, I'm seeing that video. I was going to say one of the other funniest. Yes, that
I hope
is
someone has
funny.
it somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure someone has done that. But like also like the other little thing is where you join like that church, and then you get the thing from Ghostbusters where you're trying to find like those items that are from like an alien, and then you find out like at the end they just wanted to get money from you, so they're pretty much making fun they're making fun of Scientology the whole time. That, and then when I switched into Trevor one time, I ended up on the very, very top of a mountain in a dress. So I was like, what the hell? So It just again I can't recall.
That game was just fun.
I just can't recall off the top of my head the like Grand Theft Auto 3 being like super funny, or Grand Theft Auto 4 like, oh, let's go bowling was kind of more
San
annoying,
Andreas
but
had funny moments like that guy with the weed farm and stuff like that. Like it had a comedy, or James Woods was in it as a character. His character was pretty funny and stuff like that. But yeah, 4 and 3 were particularly drab.
they tried to be more serious and dark.
That's
and
5 was just a great balance. It had like a lot of color, a lot of pop, a lot of humor. But yeah, no, great game, funny game. Do you guys want to go around and do the honorable mentions now? I know aside from Portal 1 and 2, Matt, any
Sure.
any
The other ones
others
I was
you
going to
have?
mention was similar to the Grand Theft Auto games, the Saint Row series.
Oh, God,
especially 3
yes.
and 4.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's a lot of funny parts in that game. A lot of it is just kind of the total silliness of the game, just how
Someone with a
not
bat
seriously,
dildo.
yeah, how not seriously they're taking this, like eventually being superhero level heroes. It's just like little parts where in the third game where you're kind of just carpooling with one of your friend to a mission and you just start singing Sublime, which is hilarious. And then like in the intro to the fourth game, there's like, it's so over the top that there's like a rocket with like a missile that's gonna nuke the Earth or something like that, and you're actually climbing up it, like saying goodbye to all your friends, and it's playing in the background Aerosmith's like You Don't Want to Miss a Thing or whatever, and it's just like hilarious the way it plays out and how over dramatic they kind of make every little thing in that game.
the new lady that's like, I don't really know you, but
Yeah.
thanks.
I'll miss you too.
Yeah. Any other honorable mentions?
That's all. Or Portal, but
Sorry.
I just steal his thunder.
Yeah, it was kind of hard for me. I'm sure if I just like looked at a list of games, I'd be like, oh yeah, there's the other 20 funny games I forgot about, because there's most games kind of like movie. To be a well-balanced game, you have to pepper in things like humor mixed in with the drama to kind of, not just have the same tone the entire time. So here's to every funny side mission in a Bethesda game. Because, the main stories are pretty serious, but the side missions in like the Fallout games and the Skyrim and all that stuff, some of them can be hilariously funny. Like, those are some of my I basically, play those games for the side missions for the most part. Any honorable mentions for you, Dan?
Yeah, I'd say 2. One would be actually Metal Gear Solid series.
Oh, yeah.
With the,
that's
especially Metal Gear Solid 3, after you beat the game, he gives you like, it allows you to get like a movie theater where you can pick different scenes from the game and you can just play it. But it also gives you a, what do they call it? A blooper reel. So like,
oh, really?
Yeah, so like at the very entrance, I mean, it's not a spoiler or anything, but at the very entrance of the game of Metal Gear Solid 3, he parachutes onto like the edge of a cliff, and he detaches the parachute and lands in like an epic fashion. And in the outtake, he does that, but he misses the cliff, so he falls off, and it plays like do 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 do, and then it jokes about how when people were so pissed about Metal Gear Solid 2 when you played as Raiden, they made a joke that that Raiden was going to be the main character at some point. So, but Raiden was so obsessed with killing Snake because he was the primary like character. So there's a bunch of, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a bunch of bloopers of him trying to kill Snake, and he like fails horribly. That, and then in Metal Gear Solid 4, they make a joke about the discs. Like, oh, change to disc 2, yeah. And he's like,
what?
Wait, we're playing on a PlayStation 3. Like, oh, you don't need to do that. And he's like, damn it, Otacon. Like, what the hell? So like that's funny. And then a game that I have never played, but I have watched and listened to my wife play this game, and it is absolutely hysterical. South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Oh yeah.
My God, that one and the Stick of Truth, both of them are absolutely hilarious to even listen to in the other room. At one point, I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm fighting Al Gore about Man Bear Pig," and I was like, "This." And to attack you, he wears a cape. And it puts his hands above his head like a triangle and goes, it makes noises like, and like hits you and then runs back. And at one point you're fighting like a giant Nazi baby. And I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So those would have to be my honorable mentions.
Oh, this is topical.
all right.
A recent huge game that just broke out that looks adorably funny. Untitled
Goose Game. Yes.
I'm getting that. That looks like so much fun. It's just like kind of like that kind of cute humor stuff. You're like
goofy.
this. You can be this goose and you can squawk.
You can mess with people, do a neuro run.
It was so funny.
It does look hilarious.
Oh, I just want to squawk at a gardener.
Untitled Goose Game. That is a perfect title.
Oh, that is great.
To catch
I can't
an
wait
audience.
to get that. But yeah, I'm sure I am going to think of like 1,000 more games to talk about. I feel like I didn't do my due diligence in researching this topic well enough, as much as I should have.
Which one, the humor one?
Yeah, Portal kept coming to my mind over and over
good
and
one,
over again. It was just like such a well-written, funny game. But
it's hard to articulate how funny games are. Like just to be like, oh, that was a really funny movie. Like it's easy to explain like how a game plays well or the story's interesting. But like right now, I'm having a harder. I feel like this was one of the harder topics to discuss because even though there's so many great humor games, it's kind of hard to. Yeah, it's almost like just go play them. Go play them. They're really fun.
Yeah,
you should check it out.
I think also like barely any games are made for pure comedic.
Yeah.
Like there are certain movies that are made to be comedies. Very few games are made to be comedies. They're, you have to be able to play the game as well, unless it's like a text adventure game. Oh, any game from HomestarRunner.com. Those were all just making fun of games. They were all funny. I loved the Dragon Quest or whatever. You're like Trogdor burned your village and you need to like figure it out. It was just like a very like kind of
20 years ago, right?
Oh my god, but it was so much fun. It was like a quippy text adventure game. Like, oh, it was just fun. It's still there. You can still go to the website and play it now if you want for free.
Nice.
But yeah, boys, men.
We're supposed to
ladies.
find some punishment for you, right? Before the end of this podcast.
Thank you so much. I completely forgot about
thanks,
that.
Matt.
Well, I know our listeners are waiting.
Thank you. Yes. I was
too busy.
What are you thinking?
I was too
Matt?
busy doing a podcast.
I know.
I
I was literally going to set an alarm, but I was like, I can't speak and like set an alarm, so I just was like, fuck it, I'll just wait. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any games we want him to play? Or obviously, it can't be ridiculous. He has a backlog up the wazoo, as we all just heard.
New deal.
Okay.
I get one more week
Oh.
to get things out of my system.
All right, time out. I actually forgot what the original thing was. Right. If you re-download.
If I re-download them. So here's what you're going to do. You guys, this is your homework. You guys are going to take 1 week to figure out a punishment. And then after the next podcast, I won't be able to reinstall them ever again.
No. You can't reinstall going forward.
Excuse.
Well, you guys have like
the
5 seconds to come up with a punishment.
The punishment isn't going to be ridiculous. It's going to be just like, all right, we choose the next game that you're playing in your backlog. And you have to complete it. You can't play anything else until you beat that one.
So the punishment is to possibly play a bad game?
No.
Yeah, we'll make you download a bad phone game and play it.
Ouch. That's mean. I was just
that
going to
is a
have
punishment.
I literally was just going to have you straight up, you have to play nonstop.
That's not really a punishment, though.
Well, yeah, but if you want to play something else, like your phone game, you can't.
I don't know. I like Matt's idea better. I like the fear of needing to play a bad game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. What's that horrible biker game? That absolutely putrid and like you save like a woman and then it's like thanks and then you pretty much like have sex with her.
It was like a bad version of Days Gone.
Was it on the phone or
no? It was a console.
It was
game.
an actual console game.
That was a rough game. Anyways,
it was really bad.
Boys, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Talks Games. Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me.
I said boys. Where can people find you? I thought you would just kind of.
Okay. Well,
I didn't say Matt. I said boys in general.
I misread the cue. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Game Review Guy.
Thank you, Dan. What a good point. You can find me at
sarcasm appreciated.
You can find me at Hiley and Andy on Twitter, and you can find the podcast at Manabar Podcast on Twitter or the Manabar Podcast on the Instagram. You can also email us at manabarpodcast@gmail.com.
Sweet.
Get the word out. Spread it.
Got a lot of cobwebs in the old mailbox right now, so we could use a couple hits there. And that's about it. This is... Oh,
man.
This is...
We just cannot end this.
I mean, yeah, it has gone on for a while. I don't know about my nickname I think we might need a workshop bargain bin gamer.
Please
I
clap.
feel like you two have really good nicknames. Mine kind of sucks. Just throwing that
How about
out
the
there.
procrastinator?
Just something to think about. Hey, that's actually a pretty good one. I don't know. Put that on the poll too. This is the Trophy Hunter, the Collector, and for now, the Bargain Bin Gamer. We'll find out next time, sports fans. Logging off.